The format of this meeting is a 10-minute speaker, a 10-minute coffee break, and then a main speaker. Tonight, our first speaker is Nick. Help me welcome Nick to the stage.
Hi y'all, my name's Nick. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to the new people. I just got this big book at my new home group down in Tempe last night, and I just wanted to read this to the new people. It's from There's a Solution, Chapter 2, page 17 from the big book. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were once just as hopeless as Bill or you. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem. And so that was written in 1939. And there's some footnotes in the first couple forwards that kind of give some cool numbers about what's going on in AA today. So today, in 2018, Alcoholics Anonymous is in 71 languages. So this book has been transcribed into 71 languages. And in 2018, AA is comprised of approximately 120,300 groups around the world. So this thing's going on all over the fucking place, but there is a solution for you and me here that I found. So thanks for asking me to come speak, Kirk. I was just today at 3:30, I was driving in traffic on the 17 in Phoenix, and Kirk called me, and I don't have Kirk's number saved in my phone, so it was just a random number, and automatically my alcoholism, which manifests as a voice in my head, which is very loud at times. When somebody calls me that I don't know, it automatically just says, fuck it. Don't answer. But I have a little bit of practice today telling that voice to fuck off, so I answer, and it's Kirk. And he asked me, if I want to speak today for 10 minutes, and that same voice, that same alcoholic voice in my head starts coming up with all these excuses why, I don't need to come up here and speak. I have plenty of other more important things to do down in Phoenix, put my feet up because I've been, playing drums all day, watch Netflix, all these stupid things. And that's a load of horse shit, because this is exactly right where I need to be. And so I'm glad to be here, That same voice in my head that tells me not to answer the phone also will tell me that I can drink and use drugs like a normal person or like a non-alcoholic person. And it has done that in my past. And I've followed it, and I've gotten loaded, and my life spirals down every time. I don't drink well. I've admitted through the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous that I have no power over alcohol and drugs. And what that means for me is that once I start drinking, my body reacts abnormally to alcohol. I can't explain that. I don't really know how that works, but I know that once I start, I crave more, always. And so once I start drinking, I can't stop, because alcohol does something for me that's really one of the greatest things ever. I can remember my first drink when I was a kid, being able to take the deepest breath that I've ever been able to take as soon as I took that drink. I was a very confused, anxious kid. Felt like I didn't fit in, which is I feel like that's all kids kind of go through that. But when I drank alcohol, I knew that this was the shit that was gonna do it. That this was the stuff. And so I drank it. There's also something else that makes me powerless to alcohol, and that's centers in my mind that I have this obsession that my mind is constantly obsessing about how I'm going to get a drink if I'm not drinking, you know? And I had a period of sobriety, a 6-month period of sobriety down in Tucson, and I just left a very promising musical career in a jam band called Spafford because they were getting in the way of my getting loaded, so I left. And my parents saved me once again, brought me down to Tucson, and I went to AA because like AA was like the only thing that I knew what to do. Like I always just ran to AA. And I met my sponsor Richie down in Tucson, and he got me rocking and rolling like in the steps, and he got me involved in service, and you know, we worked the steps, and he took me through the book. However, I left, like I worked a 4-step in, like I worked an inventory on my band, who I was extremely pissed off at and very delusional about why I left. I thought that they had fired me. I was fucking pissed. These assholes fucking fired me. So anyways, I worked this inventory with Richie, but didn't, I guess I totally just didn't get honest with him about it. But we continued to work the steps, and that resentment came back to bite me in the ass. Because after I did my 5th step with him, I was sitting in my halfway house bedroom by myself, meditating, because the book says that after we do a 5th step, we take an hour of quiet time and reflect on the work that we've done and see if there's any missing pieces. And so I'm sitting in my halfway house room, and I'm meditating, and this resentment against my band comes back, and it kicks in my mental obsession to drink, and that evening, like, I'm loaded. And it happened so fucking quick, and it launched me off again. And then once I start, I can't stop, and I'm off again. So that's what makes me powerless over alcohol, you know. I also have this thing, alcoholism affects my spirit as well. And when I'm not drinking, and when I have no solution, no connection to a power greater than myself, I'm not okay. I'm plagued by resentment, fear, anger, selfishness, self-centeredness. So really, like, for me, there's two solutions. It's either I'm out getting loaded, or I'm connected to God and helping others. Like, those are really the two solutions. The in-between ground is not good, not a good area for Nick. You know, I'm depressed. I can't seem to interact with human beings on a normal level. I'm not okay. And so tomorrow, if I make it through tonight, tomorrow I'll have 9 months in recovery this time. And I think, I don't know. I guess doing the things that I've done today, I'll probably make it through the night, which is pretty fucking cool. 9 months ago, I woke up one morning. I'd been using methamphetamine for 6 months, drinking wine as much as I could, and smoking as much marijuana as I could for 6 months. Everybody in my life had completely detached from me, including my band, my girlfriend, my parents, my sister, my brother. Everybody was gone, and it was just me. And I got to get loaded. And I woke up one morning with a moment of clarity. And I believe it was a message from God that there was a fork in my road. And the fork was either I was going to go this way and go on to the bitter end and probably die an untimely death, but also there was going to be a whole lot of pain and misery before that. And I was going to do that. Or I could follow this other path. And I wasn't really sure what the other path was, but for whatever reason that day, like the few interactions I had with people that day pointed to it's time to come up to Prescott. I followed the left path for whatever reason. I was ready, and I was surrendered. I was surrendered to my alcoholism, and boy, that was a beautiful fucking day. It wasn't scary. Like, it wasn't like, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to go to rehab, and it was like I felt that same kind of deep breath that I felt when I took my first drink. It was like, everything's going to be okay today. Like, I know everything's going to be okay if I just follow this other path. And I spent 2 days in bed and came up to this super rad recovery home in Prescott called New Freedom. And just a bunch of dudes living together, trudging the road of happy destiny, you know? And it was challenging to my alcoholism. My alcoholism did not like being there. It threw fits all of the time, especially when I was working a 4-step inventory, like with my sponsor there and with some of the other guys there that I was working inventory with. It did not like it. But I made it through there 7 months, and wow, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. But today, I do, what do I do? I mean, fuck, I surrender my will to the same God that woke me up 8 months ago. And I wake up and I say, I'm yours, dude. Like, do with me what you will, you know? And my days go pretty smoothly until, like, my brain gets involved, you know? So thanks for letting me share.